Hi, I'm Luke Carlson, and this week's Fit Tip is inspired by a podcast I was listening to this morning. It's the Scaling Up podcast. It's a great business podcast that I listen to regularly based on the book by Vern Harnish, Scaling Up. This podcast is purely about business. They're in a 5-part series right now about how do you mitigate, how do you navigate through a tumultuous time that we're all going through right now. Really interesting series. Well, the message this morning from Warren Rusted, who is the guest on the podcast, centers around, or starts around, how do we handle stress? And he cites stress expert, and I'm going to quote it exactly, Jenny Evans is her name. And she says, really, there's 3 things that we should do to handle stress. And I thought this was fascinating. This is in reference to how do we navigate stress as we try to manage our business through this period. Number 1 was work out regularly. We need to physically exhaust ourselves. She says one of the first things we do in a crisis is get out of our normal routine. So we have to stick to our normal routine. And she cites Dr. Fred Roby, says there is only really fundamentally one thing that we can do to relieve stress, and that is rigorous physical exercise. So I think, wow, that's absolutely phenomenal. And I feel the same way as I approach this tumultuous situation that we're in. So that was number 1, work out regularly, physically exhaust yourself. Number 2 is nutrition. Can we keep some semblance of normal nutrition? And my team laughs at me because over the last week, I have debated every day of the week to move to an all Australian licorice diet. Okay, if you know me, you know that I have 2 weaknesses. It's carrot cake and Australian licorice. And I've had this constant battle of, do I scrap it all and just live off of Australian licorice? So far I've kept the Australian licorice at bay, all right? And that's number 2. And listening to the podcast this morning was so much reinforcement for me to continue to try to make smart nutrition decisions. And number 3 was sleep. I found myself staying up late, working on things and thinking through things and setting my alarm for 4:50 in the morning, wanting to get up and not be lazy as I approach all this. And then realizing, if I get 8 hours of sleep, I'm going to be that much more clear-headed. I think my stress is going to be mitigated, and I'm going to be able to make better decisions the next day. So regular exercise, nutrition, some type of routine with that nutrition, and great sleep. Let's focus on those 3 things over these next few weeks. And I'm thinking about all of you and wishing you all best of luck in applying these 3 concepts. Thank you so much.